Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 60.
Liu Zhang, he's the ruler of Yuzhou, modern Sichuan, basically.
Right, and he's under pressure. There's this warlord, Zhang making threats.
Exactly. So his advisor, Zhang Song, this guy we described, exposed teeth, under 5 feet tall, the whole package. He suggests something pretty wild.
Almost crazy, yeah.
He says Liu Zhang should send him, Zhang Song, all the way to Yudu, Cao Cao's capital, and the mission: persuade Cao Cao to attack Han Song. The idea is to draw Zhang Lu's forces away from Shu.
Which, on the surface, okay, it's a strategic diversion.
But here's the kicker, the real insight. This whole trip, it becomes a launch pad for Zhang Song's own agenda. It goes way off the rails from just asking for help.
Oh, completely. And what's fascinating right away is how it just messes with your expectations. Zhang Song's appearance. It's not what you'd picture for a top envoy in that time. Usually you'd expect someone more, I don't know, conventionally impressive.
Right, someone who looks the part.
Exactly. But he gets this super sensitive job anyway, and his proposal, audacious as it is, shows he really gets the political game. He's thinking moves ahead. But his methods are, let's say, unorthodox and maybe not entirely focused on Liu Zhang's immediate problem.
And there's more. He's not just relying on words. Before he even leaves, Zhang Song secretly draws up this detailed map, the Sichuan geographical map.
The map of Western Shu, yeah.
And he hides it, tucks it away. This isn't just a throwaway detail. It's huge. It screams foreshadowing.
Totally. It hints there's a much bigger game being played here, something he's not telling Liu Zhang.
It shifts everything, doesn't it? From
Yeah.
please help us to potentially here's how you could take us over. Or maybe how someone else could.
Precisely. The stated mission is one thing, that map. It suggests a whole different level of intention. It's a key piece for you listening to keep in mind. It really tells you about Zhang Song's ambition. And interestingly, as Zhang Song travels, word gets to Jingzhou.
Kongming territory, Sugliang.
Exactly. And Kongming immediately sends out scouts to track Zhang Song. So clearly, this journey is already sending ripples across the whole landscape. Other big players are watching.
Okay, so Zhang Song gets to Yudu, and hurdle number 1, Cao Cao. He's just beaten Ma Chao, feeling pretty pleased with himself.
Extremely pleased, arrogant, dismissive.
And he's just not seeing visitors. Zhang Song has to cool his heels for 3 days.
3 days, and then bribe the attendants just to get in the door.
Wow. Talk about a power play from Cao Cao.
Oh, definitely. It sets the tone immediately. Cao Cao's mindset is pure pride. He's not interested in some minor envoy from the sticks. So when he finally grants an audience, it's not exactly warm. He immediately jumps on Liu Zhang for not sending tribute. Like, where's my stuff?
And Zhang Song's response.
No apology, right? Not a chance. Straight into a challenge. He starts naming names. Sun Quan, Zhang Lu, even Liu Bei, basically saying, you call this peaceful, there are threats everywhere.
Directly questioning Cao Cao's whole narrative of having brought peace.
Right from the get-go. Total defiance. He's using blunt honesty like a weapon. It's quite the opening move.
Okay, so this is where it really heats up.
Yeah.
Cao Cao, clearly unimpressed by Zhang Song's looks and his attitude.
Yeah, he just walks out, heads back to his private rooms. Done.
The guards are basically telling Zhang Song, okay, you can go now. But then someone else steps up.
From the crowd, yeah. A voice calls out, so Sichuan has no flatterers, huh?
And this is Yang Xiu, important guy. Son of the Grand Commandant Yang Biao.
Right. Known for being smart, eloquent, brilliant even, but also a bit arrogant herself. Looked down on other scholars.
So Yang Xiu sees an opportunity here. Maybe to show off or defend Cao Cao.
Probably a bit of both. He's a key figure in Cao Cao's inner circle. He steps forward, ready for a debate. And you have to understand, back then, these public intellectual duels, they were a big deal.
How so? Like, what were the stakes?
Huge stakes, potentially. Winning could seriously boost your reputation, your influence. It could impress the ruler, maybe even sway policy. It wasn't just talk. So Yang Xiu, proud of his own brains and his connection to Cao Cao, probably thinks he can easily handle this rough-around-the-edges guy from Shu. Especially after Cao Cao just dissed him.
But Zhang Song knows who Yang Xiu is. He's ready.
Oh, he's ready. This isn't just trading insults. It's a battle of wits, reputation, and even like cultural bragging rights.
Huh?
Central Plains versus the backward West.
So they go to the study. Yang Xiu kicks it off, asks about Shu. Tell me about your homeland.
And Zhang Song just unleashes this torrent of praise, super descriptive, talks about the landscape dangers of Jinjiang River, majesty of Jianzhi Pass.
It's a picture.
A vivid one, fertile land, no drought, wealthy people, music, unrivaled abundance. He's basically saying, Shu is paradise on earth.
So more than just answering the question.
Way more. He's building this image of a thriving, totally self-sufficient kingdom. It subtly pushes back against any idea that Shu is some backwater needing Cao Cao's help or, his rule. Then he doubles down on talent, starts listing famous figures, literary giants like Sima Xiangru,
Big names.
huge historical figures, military heroes like Ma Yuan, doctors like Zhang Jing, diviners like Yan Zhongping. He's pulling out all the stops.
And he claims Liu Zhang has hundreds of multi-talented people.
Hundreds. And then the kicker, countless people just like himself.
Huh. So basically, even a nobody like me is common in Shu.
Exactly. It's a brilliant humble brag. He elevates Shu by listing its geniuses, then subtly elevates himself by saying he's just one of many, many talented folks there.
Yeah.
Directly challenges the idea that all the brains are in Cao Cao's court.
And then, bam, he flips it. Turns the question back on Yang Zhu. Super smooth, super confident, asks about Yang Xi's job.
Yeah, and Yang Xi says he's an assistant to the prime minister.
Which sounds important, but Zhang Song pounces.
He does, delivers a stinging line. Basically asks why someone from Yang Shu's fancy family background is just a clerk for Cao Cao instead of, helping the emperor.
Ouch. Implying he's slumming it, working below his station.
And then he goes right after Cao Cao's intellect, says Cao Cao doesn't get Confucianism, doesn't get Sun Tzu's military strategy.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then asks how someone like Cao Cao could possibly enlighten a brilliant mind like Yang Xiu's. It's a direct shot at Cao Cao's wisdom and his right to rule.
That's incredibly provocative. Why push so hard? What's the strategy there?
That's a great question for you to think about. Is he just venting? Or is he deliberately trying to undermine Cao Cao's whole image, maybe plant seeds of doubt? He's attacking the very foundation of Cao Cao's court, this idea that it's the center of wisdom and legitimate power.
Yang Xiu must have been reeling.
Definitely stung. So he tries to recover. To prove Cao Cao is a genius, he brings out the Mengdishin Shu, Cao Cao's new book.
The military treatise? 13 chapters. This is supposed to be the ultimate proof, right? The mic drop.
Supposed to be. He hands it to Zhang Song, expecting him to be impressed, maybe even intimidated.
And Zhang Song. He just reads it.
Reads the entire thing once, and then
recites it perfectly from memory.
word for word. Yang Shu is just floored, absolutely stunned.
Well, wait, there's more, isn't there? He doesn't just memorize it.
No, that's the killer part. After reciting it, he just dismisses it, says, oh, this isn't new.
He claims it's an old book.
An anonymous work from the Warring States period. Something even 3-foot-tall children in Shu know by heart.
Oh my God. Calling Cao Cao a plagiarist in his own court.
Pretty much. The implication is devastating. Not just amazing memory, but exposing Cao Cao as intellectually dishonest, humiliating him completely.
How did Yang Xiu even respond to that?
He's just astonished. Actually praises Zhang Song, calls him a true genius of the world. I mean, what else could he say? He's been utterly outplayed.
There's that poem about him, right?
Yeah.
Captures it perfectly.
Yeah, it sums him up. Strange in form, distinct in appearance, pure and aloof. His words tumble like the Three Gorges waters. His eyes scan 10 lines of text. It goes on about his courage, his learning. Gazing once, nothing is left.
Unforgettable is right. This guy is something else.
A total force of nature, intellect just off the charts.
Okay, so Zhang Song wins the intellectual battle. But what about the actual mission? What happens next?
Well, Yang Shu, even though he got burned himself, he's genuinely impressed. He goes and tells Cao Cao about Zhang Song's incredible memory.
And Cao Cao's reaction?
Yeah.
Still dismissive.
Pretty much dismissive of Zhang Song's words, his insults, but yeah, grudgingly impressed by the memory feat. And his immediate response tells you everything.
He orders the book destroyed.
Torn up and burned, the Mengdishin Shu, gone. Just like that, wiping away the evidence.
Wow. Instead of acknowledging anything, just destroy it.
That's
revealing.
Isn't it? Says so much about his ego. He cannot stand being shown up, especially by this guy he clearly despises. Can't handle the idea that his work might not be original, or worse, that someone exposed him.
Pride over truth. Absolute control over the story.
Exactly. It's all about maintaining that image of power and genius, even if it means erasing his own work.
So Yang Xiu tries to smooth things over.
Huh.
Suggests Zhang Song see the emperor.
Yeah, maybe show him the grandeur of the celestial court, try to salvage something. But Cao Cao, he has a different plan.
The military parade?
Yep. He tells Yang Zhu, bring him to the parade tomorrow. Time for a different kind of demonstration.
Less talk, more shock and awe.
Precisely. He rolls out the elite troops, 50,000 Tiger Guards, all the descriptions: bright armor, resplendent robes, drums shaking the heavens, gleaming weapons, flags everywhere.
It's pure intimidation, designed to make Zhang Song feel small and powerless.
100% psychological warfare. Show him overwhelming force, make him realize who's really in charge. Cao Cao essentially saying, forget your clever words, this is real power.
And he even asks him directly, right? Have you seen heroes like these in your little region of Shu?
He expects Zhang Song to finally break, to be awestruck, maybe fearful, submit.
But Zhang Song, nope, still defiant.
Completely unfazed. His reply is legendary. He just says calmly, we in Shu haven't seen this kind of military force, no, but we rule with benevolence and righteousness.
Oh, that's a direct hit. Right at Cao Cao's philosophy.
Cao Cao's face apparently darkens. You can imagine. But Zhang Song doesn't flinch. Yang Shu is practically signaling him frantically, like, shut up, but he ignores him.
It's the ultimate showdown of ideals now. Might versus morality.
Exactly. Cao Cao's whole thing is strength, conquest, dominance. Zhang Song throws benevolence and righteousness back in his face. It's a fundamental challenge to Cao Cao's legitimacy as a ruler. Rule by force versus rule by virtue. So Cao Cao lays down his ultimate threat, his worldview in a nutshell. I see lesser men as weeds. My army, invincible, follow me, you live. Defy me, you die.
That's pretty unambiguous. He thinks this has got to shut Zhang Song up.
He expects silence, submission, fear.
Instead, Zhang Song delivers the final blow, the knockout punch.
He does. He actually acknowledges Cao Cao's victories first. Seems like he might be finally backing down.
But then,
With that incredible memory and, frankly, unbelievable courage, he starts listing Cao Cao's defeats.
no way, right there, in front of the troops.
Right there, he lists them all. Puyang against Lu Bu. Wancheng against Zhang Xiu, where Cao Cao lost his son and bodyguard.
Oof, Red Cliffs against Zhu Yu.
Yep. Huang Path, where Guan Yu let him go.
Yeah.
That embarrassing escape at Tong Pass, where he had to shave his beard and ditch his robe.
Fleeing by boat, dodging arrows at the Wei River. He remembers everything.
Every single major humiliation, every near-death experience, he lays it all out. Precise, cutting, utterly fearless.
In front of Cao Cao's elite army.
The effect, instantaneous. Cao Cao absolutely loses it, just explodes.
Roaring, right. How dare he expose my shortcomings?
Exactly, and orders him executed on the spot.
Execution for speaking truth to power.
It takes Yang Shu and another key advisor, Sun Yu, desperately intervening. They have to remind Cao Cao, you can't just kill an envoy. Think of the diplomatic fallout.
So they talk him down from execution. Barely.
Barely. Cao Cao is still furious. So instead of killing him, he orders Zhang Song beaten with sticks.
Beaten and thrown out.
Physically beaten and expelled. So the official mission, total disaster, public humiliation, physical assault. But Zhang Song, he walked out having said everything he wanted to say. Zhang Song, he was pretty much kicked out of his quarters and sent packing, empty-handed, as he put it, just completely brushed off by one of the most powerful men around.
Wow.
Yeah. And the takeaway, I think, is that even these huge figures, these powerful leaders, they can make critical mistakes.
Yeah.
Missteps in diplomacy just by underestimating that personal touch.
Right, so it wasn't just a strategic blunder for Cao Cao. What about Zhang Song personally? The immediate fallout for him?
It was bad. He wasn't just rejected. He was deeply embarrassed, humiliated, really. Apparently, he'd opened a big mouth back home to his own lord, Lu Zhang, about this big mission.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So now he's heading back fearing ridicule, being mocked in Shu. And that moment, that personal slight, that public humiliation, that becomes the crucial pivot point. Imagine that feeling, that sting. It sort of forces him to look elsewhere, to consider other options he maybe hadn't before.
And that's exactly what he does. Okay, so with his tail between his legs, metaphorically speaking, Zhang Song remembers hearing about Liu Bei.
Yeah.
About his reputation for benevolence and righteousness spread far and wide. So he decides, okay, I'll take a detour to Jingzhou. Let's test this man. And this is where the story gets really good. Because Liu Bei's camp, they put on an absolute masterclass in winning hearts and minds.
Right. And it makes you ask, how does a leader even build a reputation like that?
Sure.
So powerful, so widespread. Liu Bei's reception of Zhang Song, it wasn't just polite, that doesn't cover it. It was meticulously choreographed, multi-layered, just this incredible display of respect and strategic hospitality, all designed to make a huge impression. It really shows the power of being proactive, personalizing your approach when you want to build a relationship.
Let's break it down step by step, because the details here are just, they really matter.
Yeah.
So Zhang Song gets to the Yingzhou border. That's kind of the edge of Liu Bei's territory, Jingzhou. And who meets him? None other than the famous General Zhao Yun. Zilong,
A big name.
a huge name. And he's not alone. He's got about 500 cavalry with him. Zhao Yun immediately gets off his horse, bows deeply, offers food, drink, and he specifically says Liu Bei himself ordered him to prepare this welcome.
Wow. Okay.
The source said Song Song immediately thought, okay, people say Lu Xuande is kind and loves guests. Yeah, he really is.
First impression.
Huge first impression. But it doesn't stop there, does it? Not at all. So Zhang Song gets closer to the main Jingzhou border. And who's waiting there?
Let me guess. Another big gun.
Another legend. Guan Yu, waiting with over 100 people. There are drums. They welcome him to the inn.
Drums? Okay, they're pulling out all the stops.
Seriously. And Guan Yu, just like Zhao Yun, says Liu Bei personally ordered this. Ordered them to sweep and clean the inn, just for Zhang Song's comfort.
So layer upon layer of respect being shown.
Exactly. But the real kicker, the grand personal welcome, is the next morning. Just a mile or two outside the city, 3 to 5 Li Day, Liu Bei himself is there, with his top strategists, Zhu Geiliang and Pang Tong. And Liu Bei gets off his horse first to greet Zhang Song.
Dismounting first. That's a massive sign of deference in that time. Huge.
Right. And Liu Bei, the imperial uncle, he lays on the flattery, expresses admiration, regrets not meeting sooner, invites him to stay.
Okay, connecting this to the bigger picture. This isn't just politeness, it's way beyond that.
Yeah.
It's a powerful demonstration of organizational skill, deep respect for scholars like Zhang Song, and just a crystal clear signal of how valuable they think he is. Every single detail, the cavalry numbers, the drums, Liu Bei dismounting first, it all sends this consistent, powerful message.
Yeah, a message that's the absolute polar opposite of Cao Cao's brush-off.
Exactly. The insight here is that a truly impactful welcome isn't just one thing. It's multi-layered, it's super personalized, and it's meticulously planned to make the guest feel, well, completely valued.
So, okay, after this incredible welcome, Zhang Song settled in. What happens next? What are the conversations like over the next few days? Did he just jump right into talking strategy about Sichuan?
That's a great question, and the answer is, well, it's pretty surprising and reveals a key part of the strategy. Liu Bei keeps Zhang Song there for 3 whole days, 3 consecutive days of banquets, feasting, drinking, talking.
Okay.
But the source is explicit. Liu Bei never once mentioned the matter of Sichuan. Not a word about it.
For 3 days. He doesn't bring it up at all.
Nope. And this is where you really see Liu Bei's long game in action. He's letting Zhang Song feel genuinely valued, trusted, understood, completely free from any pressure, any hint of an agenda.
Ah, I see. Building rapport first.
Exactly. The profound insight here is the power of strategic patience. Trust gets built when there's no obvious ask hanging in the air. If Liu Bei had rushed it, pushed for Sichuan right away,
it would have undermined everything, that whole image of benevolence he'd carefully built.
Precisely. It could have spoiled the whole thing.
So did Zhang Song just sit there? Or did he try to, nudge the conversation?
He did. The text says he actually tries to provoke Liu Bei a bit. He asks about Jingzhou, Liu Bei's current territory situation, sort of testing the waters, maybe probing Liu Bei's ambition.
Okay, interesting. And how did Liu Bei and his team, Zhugiang, Pang Tong, how did they handle that?
Very carefully. They responded by highlighting Liu Bei's kind of tricky position, pointing out that Jingzhou was only temporarily borrowed from Sun Quan, reinforcing that underdog status.
Right, playing the humble card almost.
Sort of, but it also subtly reinforces his righteous cause, contrasting him with other leaders who just strong-arm and seize territory.
Ah, so it's affirming his values, his moral high ground.
Exactly. It wasn't a direct plea for help, like, oh, poor me, I need land. It was more like a quiet invitation. Here's who I am. Here are my principles. You see the situation.
Very subtle. It shows a leader who gets that. Sometimes the best way to earn loyalty is just to state your values clearly, not make demands.
Precisely. Let the other person connect the dots.
Okay, so 3 days of banquets, careful conversation. Zhang Song is getting ready to leave now. Liu Bei arranges a farewell banquet at a 10-len pavilion, so maybe 3-4 miles outside the city walls. Proper send-off. What happened next? Because this seems like the moment, the final act that really seals the deal for Zhang Song.
It really was. Liu Bei's farewell. It was emotional. The text says he shed tears. He expressed genuine sadness that Zhang Song was leaving, uncertainty about when they might ever meet again.
Wow, actual tears.
Yes. It's portrayed as a really powerful emotional appeal. And it hits Zhang Song hard, deeply. It leads him to think, literally, Lu Xuande is so benevolent, so loves scholars. How can I just abandon him? No, it's better to persuade him to take Sichuan.
That's the turning point. The emotional connection seals it.
Absolutely. It just underscores this immense power of authentic human connection and building alliances. The insight is crystal clear. Genuine empathy, that personal touch.
Right.
It can move people, move mountains in a way that cold logic or force just never, ever can.
Okay, so let's unpack Zhang Song's decision now. He's moved, he's convinced, he initiates the offer of Sichuan himself. He points out, Jingzhu's instability, Sun Quan on one side, Cao Cao on the other. Not a great long-term base.
Good point. Making the case.
And then he paints this picture of Sichuan, strategically vital, fertile, wealthy, populous, ticking all the boxes. He even throws in that the wise and capable people there have admired Liu Bei's virtue for ages. He's really selling it now. Sounds like he's completely all in.
He absolutely is. But here's the twist. Does Liu Bei just grab it, jump at this incredible offer?
Knowing Liu Bei so far? Probably not.
Not at all. This is another layer of his frankly sophisticated strategy. He maintains what you could call strategic humility. Masterfully done. He initially pushes back, says things like, "How dare I take this?" expresses concern about attacking Liu Zhang, who's technically a fellow member of the imperial clan.
Yeah, the optics.
Exactly. He worries that all under heaven would spit at him. Fear of public condemnation.
So this resistance, it actually makes him look more virtuous, right? More honorable.
Precisely. It reinforces that image, and it makes Zhang Song's next move, his persuasion, feel even more earnest, more necessary.
It's a clever bit of reverse psychology almost. Like playing hard to get makes the prize seem even more desirable to the one offering it.
You could definitely see it that way. It strengthens Liu Bei's position without him having to demand anything.
But Zhang Song, he's not backing down now. He's fully committed. He presses Liu Bei, urges him to strike first before someone else does, and he even spills the beans about his failed attempt with Cao Cao, right? Condemning Cao Cao's arrogance.
Yeah, he calls him a treacherous villain, mentions his arrogance and how he scorned scholars. It really shows how deep that wound from Cao Cao went.
And Zhang Song lays out this whole grand strategy for Liu Bei, doesn't he? It's not just take Sichuan.
No, it's comprehensive. Take Sichuan as your base, then conquer Hanzhong to the north, use that to recover the Central Plains, restore the Han Dynasty, achieve eternal glory.
Wow. It's a complete roadmap to empire, handed to him on a silver platter.
Pretty much. But there's that practical hurdle Liu Bei brought up earlier, remember?
Ah, right. The terrain, the rugged shoe path, all the mountains and rivers, places where carriages cannot go side by side and horses cannot walk abreast. How does Zhang Song counter that very real logistical problem?
This is the moment, the big reveal. Zhang Song reaches into his sleeve.
Don't tell me.
He pulls out a map. A map from his sleeve, hands it straight to Liu Bei. It's like this dramatic mic drop moment in the story.
A map, of course.
And this wasn't just any old map. The source is specific. It clearly detailed geography, routes, distances, widths, mountains, rivers, strategic points.
Everything.
Everything. Treasuries, money, and provisions. It was the ultimate insider's guide. The complete blueprint for conquering Sichuan.
So it just completely removes Liu Bei's stated objection about the difficult terrain.
Exactly. It eliminates that logistical concern. The insight here is powerful, I think. Big visions are great, they're inspiring, but it's the practical, detailed solutions, the how that actually remove barriers and make those big dreams actionable. Zhang Song didn't just offer an idea, he offered the instruction manual.
Incredible. So, okay, the map is huge, but what else? For this plan to actually work, Liu Bei needs more than just a map, right? He needs people on the inside. Did Zhang Song offer that too?
He did, and this is absolutely crucial. He names two key allies already inside Sichuan, Fa Zheng and Meng Da. He calls them his trusted confidants, his close friends.
Okay, so this isn't just Zhang Song acting alone.
No way. This moves the whole thing from just a concept, a theoretical plan, into something viable. An actionable operation with boots already on the ground, so to speak. Pre-existing support within Liu Zhang's own court.
That makes a huge difference. The insight being, I guess, that even the best external strategy needs strong internal champions to actually make it happen.
You got it. You need insiders.
So Liu Bei gratefully accepts the map, the plan. Zhang Song says farewell. What does Zhang Song do next? Does he act quickly?
Immediately. Wastes no time. He goes straight back and meets with Fa Zheng.
Okay.
Lays it all out. Tells him about Cao arrogance, how impressed he was with Liu Bei, his commitment to bringing Liu Bei in. What do you think Fa Zhang said?
Given Zhang Song called him a confidant, I'm guessing he was receptive.
Instantly. Fa Zhang immediately agrees, says he'd long believed Lu Zhang, their current lord, was incompetent, and that he'd actually desired to meet Lu's one day for a long time.
Wow, so there was already dissatisfaction there. Cracks in the foundation.
Big time. It validates Zhang Song's assessment and shows that Liu Bei's reputation had already done some of the groundwork, exploiting those internal issues.
And then Meng Da joins them.
Yep, Meng Do comes in, listens, quickly figures out what they're plotting.
Is he in too?
He is. He explicitly says only Lu Zhuande will do. Basically, Liu Bei is the only one worthy or capable enough for this.
Oh, so the three of them are now united, actively planning to betray their lord. Liu Zhang, he's the ruler of Yuzhou.
Right, and he's under pressure. There's this warlord, Zhang Lu, making threats.
Exactly. So his advisors,
Zhang Song gets back from visiting Cao Cao.
and he comes back with a pretty explosive assessment.
He does. He basically brands Cao Cao a Han rebel, a huge accusation, saying Cao Cao is definitely eyeing Yi province.
What's his big idea?
His solution is to invite Liu Bei, Liu Hongshu, remember, a distant imperial relative, to come in as an external helper. And Zhang Song lays it on thick, calling Liu Bei benevolent and generous, gives him this whole demeanor of an elder vibe, painting him as the perfect guy for the job. Trustworthy.
You can see why that would appeal to Liu Zhang, who's feeling kind of cornered.
Oh, absolutely. It sounds almost like a perfect solution, doesn't it? Maybe too perfect?
Well, what's really striking is how fast Liu Zhang agrees. The source says he'd had this idea for a long time.
Really? So he was already thinking along those lines.
Seems like it. Maybe desperation. Maybe he just saw it as the easiest way out. He quickly picks Fa Zhang and Meng Da to go make the arrangements with Liu Bei.
Okay, so the wheels are in motion, but then the first big warning sign.
Yeah, this is where it gets dramatic.
Wang Quan, Liu Zhang's principal clerk, literally bursts in, sweating, and just drops this bombshell. The 41 prefectures will belong to another.
Wow, straight to the point. No mincing words.
None. And his reasoning is sharp. He sizes up Liu Bei perfectly, treats people generously, softness can overcome hardness, calls him an unbeatable hero who wins people over far and near.
He sees Liu Bei's charisma, his popular appeal.
But it's more than that. He points to Liu Bei's team, his wings, he calls them. Zhu Giliang, Pang Tong for strategy.
And the generals. Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, Zhao Yun, Huang Zhong Weiyan. I mean, that's a powerhouse lineup.
Exactly. Huang Quan's core point is, this guy isn't going to be happy playing second fiddle. He says pretty bluntly, one nation cannot accommodate two masters.
That's the heart of it, isn't it?
Ambition. Totally. He lays out the choice. Stick with safety, stable as Mount Tai, by refusing Liu Bei, or face danger like stacked eggs by letting him in. His advice. Execute Zhang Song, cut ties with Liu Bei. Now.
That's a drastic measure, executing Zhang Song. Shows how serious Huang Quan thought the threat was.
It really does, but Liu Zhang pushes back.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
He asks the practical question.
Yeah, okay, smart guy. How do we stop Tao and Zhang Lu then?
And Huang Quan suggests digging in. Close borders, cut off passes, deep moats, high walls, wait for times to clear. A defensive strategy.
Play the long game, turtle up.
But Liu Zhang, he calls it a slow plan. He says the situation is urgent, like burning eyebrows. He needs a quick fix.
The lure of the quick fix versus the caution of the long view. A classic leadership trap.
It really is. Focused on the fire right in front of him, missing the bigger danger creeping in the back door. And just when you think it can't get more dramatic.
Another warning comes.
Yes.
Yes.
Wang Lei, another aide, pleads with Liu Zhang. He sees him inviting disaster.
What's his angle? Is it different from Huang Quan's?
It is, and it's maybe even more cutting. He makes this brilliant distinction. Zhang Lu, the external threat, that's just a minor ailment like a skin rash. Annoying, but not fatal.
Okay.
But Liu Bei, he's a great internal threat. A heart condition, essentially.
Oof. That's stark.
And he backs it up. He calls Liu Bei a hero of the age, acknowledging his skill, but points out his track record. He brings up Liu Bei's past dealings with Cao Cao, suggesting he plotted against him, and how he took Jingzhou from Sun Quan.
So he's saying, look, this is what he does. He takes opportunities. He's using history, Liu Bei's own past actions, as evidence.
Exactly. It's not just fear, it's pattern recognition.
But Liu Zhang still doesn't listen.
Nope. He gets angry, calls them both talking nonsense, just completely dismisses these incredibly insightful, loyal advisors, and sends Fa Zhang off to Liu Bei anyway.
Wow. It's almost painful to read, knowing what happens next. How could he ignore such clear warnings?
It makes you really stop and think, doesn't it? The psychology of it. Maybe he was just so focused on Cao Cao, or maybe he just couldn't believe a relative would betray him.
Or maybe Zhang Song's initial pitch was just that appealing. The idea of this benevolent hero saving the day, confirmation bias is powerful. He heard what he wanted to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. A really stark example of leadership failure, honestly. Okay, so Fa Xing heads off to Jingzhou. This moves us into part 2. Liu Bei's moral labyrinth and Peng Tong's strategic brilliance.
The meeting with Liu Bei.
Right. Fa Xing presents Liu Zhang's letter, plays up the family connection, asks for help against Zhang Lu, promises a heavy reward.
And Liu Bei's reaction.
Initially, delighted, the text says. Then he quickly shifts gears, puts on the show of injury and sighing, basically playing reluctant.
Ah, the classic Liu Bei move, the performance of virtue.
Seems like it. He talks about his dilemma. Yi province is great, this abundant land, but Liu Zhang is family of the same clan. He cannot bear to scheme against him, so he claims.
Right. Is he genuine, or is this just managing his image? It's the age-old question with Liu Bei.
It really is. He cultivated that righteous image so carefully.
And Fa Zheng is smart. He doesn't just accept the reluctance. He pushes back, but skillfully. He argues Yi province is this heavenly kingdom, yes, but Liu Zhang isn't the man for it. He cannot employ the wise.
He's subtly blaming Liu Zhang's incompetence.
Exactly. He says the province will soon belong to another anyway. It's basically a gift from heaven for Liu Bei. It's fate. And he throws in that proverb, whoever chases the rabbit gets it first.
Nice. So it's not ambition, it's destiny. And if you don't take it, someone less worthy will.
Precisely. It reframes the whole thing. It gives Liu Bei an out.
It clearly hits home, but Liu Bei still plays coy, sends Fa Zhang away, says he needs to consider it. He's left alone, deep in thought.
Setting the stage for Peng Tong.
Enter Peng Tong, fledgling phoenix, Liu Bei's strategist.
Yeah.
And he does not beat around the bush. He walks in and basically says, look, anyone who should make a decision but doesn't, that person's a fool.
Direct. I like it.
Me too. Then he lays out the hard strategy. Jingzhou, tough place to hold. You've got Sun Quan east, Cao Cao north. It's precarious.
Squeezed on both sides.
But Yi province, millions of households, vast land, abundant wealth. It's the perfect base for building something big, a great enterprise.
And he points out the internal help, right?
Yes. Zhang Song and Fa Zhang are already on the inside, ready to help. Another gift from heaven they shouldn't waste. It's a pure strategic argument.
But Liu Bei still brings up his moral code. This is where we get that famous line.
Yeah, he says, Cao Cao is urgent, I am generous. Cao Cao is violent, I am benevolent. Cao Cao is cunning, I am loyal. He's worried about his reputation, right? Losing trust and righteousness in the world just for small gain.
It's his brand. He can't just abandon it.
But Peng Tong just laughs. How does he get around such a deeply held principle?
Well, this is Peng Tong's brilliance. He doesn't dismiss the principles entirely. He says, sure, your words conform to heavenly principles. Very noble. But
There's always a but.
right. But in these chaotic times, you can't just stick to one path, especially not when using military force to contend for power. Strict adherence to constant principles, to the old rules, it gets you nowhere.
So pragmatism needs to trump idealism in wartime.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
He advocates for adapting to circumstances. He even uses this phrase, attacking the weak and the unenlightened, conquering by unorthodox means and holding by righteous means.
Conquer first, be righteous later.
Kind of. And he legitimizes it by comparing it to legendary sage kings Tang and Wu, who took power by force but then ruled justly. It's a historical justification.
Okay, so it's not just ruthless ambition, it's historically sanctioned pragmatism.
That's the framing. And here's the clincher, the solution to Liu Bei's moral problem. After you take Yi province, Peng Tong says you can repay Liu Zhang with righteousness and fess off him as a great state. See, you won't ultimately betray trust.
Ah, the moral loophole. Take his land, but give him a nice title and estate later. Everyone wins. Sort of.
Exactly. It allows Liu Bei to maintain his self-image, or at least rationalize the action. And then Peng Tong delivers the final killer line. If you don't take it today, someone else will take it eventually.
Pure realpolitik. Grab it before Cao Cao or someone else does.
It cuts through everything. It makes inaction seem like the truly foolish choice.
And it works. Liu Bei has this epiphany, calls Peng Tong's words gold and stone to be engraved on the heart. Hesitation is gone.
It's a masterful piece of persuasion, hitting both strategic needs and providing that crucial ethical justification, however thin it might seem to us now.
Okay, decision made. Now for part 3. the strategic deployment. Liu Bei gets together with Zhuge Liang to plan the nuts and bolts.
And Zhuge Liang immediately raises a critical point.
Yes, they absolutely must divide forces to guard Jingzhou. Why was holding Jingzhou still so vital, even as they were going after this huge prize in the west?
Oh, Jingzhou was everything. It was their strategic center, their connection to allies like Sun Quan, their main bulwark against Cao Cao. Losing it would leave them completely isolated in Yi province, cut off.
Right, it's like you can't take the castle if you let the enemy burn down your home base behind you.
Precisely. So Zhuge Liang knew securing the rear was just as important as the advance. Pure strategic sense.
So how did they divide things up?
Meticulously. The main Western expedition force is 50,000 troops. Liu Bei leads, naturally.
And Ping Kong.
Right there with him as military advisor. Makes sense, he argued for the campaign. Huang Zhang, the veteran, takes the vanguard. Wei Yan, known for being bold, covers the rear.
Solid picks.
And Lu Feng and Guan Ping are in the mid-army, a strong core.
Okay, so that's the expedition. What about defending Jingzhou?
Zhuge Liang himself stays behind in overall command. You need the best strategist holding the fort.
Makes sense.
Guan Yu gets positioned to block the key routes towards Caoshangyang and Qingni Pass. Zhang Fei is tasked to patrol the river regions, the 4 prefectures, keeping things secure there.
Covering the main approaches.
And Zhao Yun is stationed at Jingling and Gongyang, critical defensive points along the river. It's a really well-thought-out defensive network.
It sounds incredibly thorough. They weren't taking any chances.
Not at all. They even got a bit of luck. Liao Hua shows up with his troops, surrenders, and Zhu Jiliang immediately assigns him to help Guan Yu against Cao Cao, adding more strength to that northern defense.
Liu Bei, he's leading his forces towards Sichuan.
Right.
He gets met by this official, Meng Da, who's been sent by Lu Zhang. Now, Lu Zhang is the ruler of Yizhou, think modern Sichuan, basically, a big, important region.
Very fertile, very strategic.
And Lu Zhang hasn't just sent a hello, he's sent 5,000 troops as a formal welcome party.
5,000? That's quite a welcome.
It is. And on top of that, Lu Zhang sends out orders down the line. Give Liu Bei's army supplies, money, provisions, whatever they need on their journey. It's like rolling out the red carpet.
Yeah, it really sets the stage for this incredibly grand reception. Lu Zhang isn't just welcoming, some random ally.
Yeah. He sees Liu Bei as family. A distant cousin, sure, but that kinship tie was hugely important back then. It came with expectations of trust, of honor. He genuinely thinks Liu Bei is this shining example of righteousness, someone who can protect him from threats like Cao Cao way up north and Zhonglu closer by. He sees him as a solution. Exactly. An easy solution, perhaps. This alliance will secure his borders, problem solved.
And Lu Zhang, he just leans into this completely. He announces he's going to personally go out to greet Liu Bei. Not in his capital, Chengdu, but way out at Fucheng.
Which is a fair distance, right? Like over 100 miles.
Yeah, about 360 lives, so roughly 110 miles. And he orders all this preparation, brand new chariots, tents, banners, armor, all fresh and bright.
You can really feel the pomp, the ceremony he's planning.
Totally.
And what's key here is Lu Zhang's total, almost childlike faith. Later on, when people try to warn him, he just brushes them off. He says, "My kinsman Liu Bei is a truly sincere and benevolent man." Full stop.
He's completely convinced.
Convinced. He thinks with Liu Bei as his external ally, Cao Cao and Zhonglu are non-issues. He even thanks Zhang Song, one of his own guys who secretly helped arrange this, gives him a fancy robe and 500 taels of gold.
A huge reward.
Massive sign of favor. It just shows this, profound level of trust, or maybe a really dangerous naivete, a psychological blind spot almost.
Okay, so Lu Zhang's feeling great, but then the story just takes this sharp turn. His own loyal officials, they start seeing disaster looming. And the warnings he gets, they aren't just like, hey, maybe be careful.
Yeah.
They're incredibly desperate. People are literally putting their bodies on the line.
Yeah, these moments are just so vivid. They show the real personal cost of loyalty and just how strongly these men felt about the danger. It wasn't abstract for them.
So first up, you have Huang Quan. He's the chief clerk. He comes in, throws himself on the ground, basically begging Lu Zhang.
And does he say?
He says, "Your lordship, if you go, you will surely be harmed by Liu Bei." He points out he's served for years, he can't stand by and watch his lord fall into another's cunning scheme.
He calls it a cunning scheme right to his face.
Directly, no mincing words. Which is, as you said, just the total opposite of how Lu Zhang sees Liu Bei.
And Zhang Song, the guy who got the gold, he jumps in immediately, right?
Instantly.
Yeah.
accuses Huang Quan of trying to drive a wedge between kinsmen, of helping the bandits, meaning Zhang Lu, presumably, trying to shut him down.
But Huang Quan doesn't back down.
Not at all. Lu Zhang gets angry, says his mind's made up, tells him to get lost.
Yeah.
But Huang Quan stays prostrated, and get this, he grips Lu Zhang's robe with his mouth, trying to hold him back, still trying to reason with him.
With his mouse.
Yeah, and Lu Zhang pulls away angrily, and in the struggle, Huang Quan actually knocks out 2 of his own teeth clinging onto the robe.
Oh my God, 2 teeth.
2 teeth. Then he gets dragged away, just crying out in despair.
Wow. That level of physical sacrifice, it's hard to even imagine. It tells you everything about how serious Huang Quan thought this was. He genuinely believed Lu Zhang was walking into a trap.
Absolutely. The conviction there is just staggering. And it doesn't end there. Next, another official, Li Wei, steps up.
Takes guts after seeing what happened to Huang Quan.
For sure. And he basically says the same thing. You're ignoring Huang Quan's loyal words, you're walking to your death. And he uses that really potent metaphor.
Yeah, the tiger one.
Yeah, welcoming a tiger into the gate. Calling Liu Bei a predator, essentially.
It's such a strong image, highlighting the danger beneath the surface that Lu Zhang just refuses to see.
But Lu Zhang still hasn't changed his mind.
Yeah.
He doubles down, threatens to execute anyone else who speaks against the
And
plan.
digging his heels in deeper and deeper.
But then comes the most unbelievable warning from Wang Lei.
This is the upside down guy.
This is the upside down guy. The text says he literally hangs himself upside down from the city gate. One hand holding his written petition, the other holding a sword.
Just hanging there.
In public.
In public view. And he declares, if his advice is ignored, he'll cut the rope and fall to his death right then and there.
That is an ultimatum. A final desperate plea. Did Lu Zhang read the petition?
He did. He has it brought to him. Maybe morbid curiosity, maybe a flicker of doubt. Who knows?
What did it say? Was it just more warnings?
It was incredibly urgent. Wang Lai brings up historical examples, like King Huai ignoring Kuai Yuan, famous cases of rulers doomed by bad advice.
So precedent, trying to learn from history.
Exactly. And he warns Lu Zhang, point blank, if you go to Fuqing to meet Liu Bei, there may be a path to Fuqing, but no path back.
Wow, chilling.
And he doesn't just warn, he gives a solution. Cut down Zhang Song in the marketplace and break off the agreement with Liu Bei. He sees the whole plot.
So he's naming names, demanding action, not just vague warnings, but a concrete, if brutal plan. He knew Zhang Song was the inside man.
And Lu Zhang's reaction to this life or death plea?
Let me guess.
Anger.
Pure rage. What? Calls Wang Lei a constant insulter. Just dismisses him entirely.
And Wang Lei.
He cries out, cuts the rope, and falls to his death. Crashes onto the ground below. The text even includes a poem later praising his integrity, calling it steel-like.
Unbelievable. He actually did it.
He did. So how? How does Lu Zhang witness that on top of Huang Quan losing teeth and still ignore it all?
It's really a profound psychological case study, isn't it? It speaks to this massive blind spot. Maybe it's partly affection for Liu Bei, partly just desperately wanting an easy fix for his problems with Cao Cao and Zhang Lu. And Zhang Song's manipulation clearly worked wonders. Lu Zhang seems utterly determined to see only what he wants to see, even when the evidence against it is literally dying at his feet. It's tragic self-deception on a grand scale.
So despite the teeth, despite the pleas, despite the public suicide, Lu Zhang goes.
He actually goes to
takes his army, 30,000 strong, takes 1,000 carts loaded with provisions, and makes the journey to meet Liu Bei.
Incredible.
Meanwhile, Liu Bei's army is marching too, but the text makes a point of saying how disciplined they are.
Ah, yes, the contrast.
Not a single stalk of grain is taken from the people. They're perfectly behaved. And the ordinary folk, they come out with incense and offerings, praising Liu Bei's benevolence.
Which is just brilliant PR, isn't it?
Totally.
Liu Bei is projecting this image of perfect righteousness. It reassures Lu Zhang even more, and it wins over the local population. It's strategically masterful, even as this darker plot is brewing, like a hearts and minds campaign alongside a covert op.
So the cousins meet. Big greetings, lots of talk about their fraternal feelings. The text even says they shed tears together over their shared ancestry.
Playing up the family angle.
Big time. They have a feast. And later, back in his own camp, Lu Zhang is apparently gloating, mocking Huang Quan and Wang Lei, calling their warnings ignorant suspicion.
Still praising Liu Bei.
Still praising Liu Bei's benevolence and righteousness. He's completely bought in.
And even his own generals try again, right? Lu Gi, Zhang Ren.
Yet, a few of them try one last time. They tell him, look, Liu Bei is gentle on the outside but tough on the inside. His heart cannot be measured. You should still guard against him.
Pretty direct. Gentle outside, tough inside.
But Liu Zhang just laughs. Laughs it off. He's so caught up in his version of reality.
Yeah.
Okay, so while Liu Zhang is feeling secure, thinking he's found his protector, things are moving fast on Liu Bei's side.
The strategists get to work.
Immediately. Liu Bei gets back to his camp after the big friendly meeting, and his strategist, Pang Tong, brilliant guy, but ruthless, he doesn't waste a second.
What's his first move?
He asked Liu Bei straight up, "Did you notice Liu Ziyu's," that's Liu Zhang's, mood at the banquet? Liu Bei, still sort of charmed, says, "Yeah, a truly sincere and honest man."
Still seeing the best in him.
Yeah. But Pang Tong immediately pushes back.
How so? He points out that, yeah, Liu Jiyu himself might seem sincere, but did you notice his officials? Guys like Liu Gi, Zhang Ren, they looked unhappy. They weren't buying it.
So he's spotting the internal divisions.
Yeah.
The potential weaknesses in Liu Zhang's camp.
Exactly. Pang Tong sees that not everyone is drinking the Kool-Aid, which means there's an opening. The ground might be softer than it looks for a takeover.
And then Pang Tong just lays it out. His plan. It's blunt.
Okay, let's hear it.
He says, basically, here's my plan. Tomorrow, throw another banquet. Invite Liu Jiyu. Hide 100 swordsmen behind the curtains.
Oh, boy.
When you give the signal, throw your cup down, they rush out and kill him right there at the feast.
Assassination at a banquet.
Classic. And then rush straight for Chengdu. You won't even need to draw your swords properly. You can take the whole province sitting down. It's chillingly efficient.
Yeah, that is. Pure Machiavelli. Zero sentimentality. It's all about the swiftest path to power, leveraging that trust Liu Zhang has shown. Forget honor, forget kinship, just seize the moment.
Ruthless effectiveness. Real politic in action. But Liu Bei's reaction, this is where it gets really interesting, right? He doesn't just say, great idea.
No, he hesitates, doesn't he? What does he say?
He pushes back. He says, look, Liu Ji is my family. He trusts me. He's sincere with me. Plus, he says, I just got here. Nobody in Shu really knows or trusts me yet if I do this.
What are his concerns?
He says, heaven would not tolerate it, and the people would resent it. He even says, this plan. Even a hegemon wouldn't do this. A hegemon being, a ruler who leads by force, not necessarily morality.
So he's genuinely conflicted. It's not just an act, his benevolence. It seems not. He's really wrestling with it. The damage to his reputation, the moral wrongness of betraying kinship and trust, offending heaven, alienating the people. He weighs all that against the huge strategic prize. It shows he's complex, not just a straightforward villain.
But Pang Tong has an answer ready. He reveals this wasn't just his idea on the spur of the moment.
There's more to it.
Yeah. He says the idea actually came from Fa Zheng, another advisor. And Fa Zhang got a secret message from Zhang Song the Insider in Liu Zhang's court.
The guy who got the gold robe, what did the message say?
Urging them to act fast. The matter should not be delayed. It should be done sooner rather than later. The window of opportunity is now.
So pressure from the inside contact?
Exactly. And then Fa Zheng himself comes in and argues directly to Liu Bei.
What's Fa Zhang's argument? How does he try to convince Liu Bei? He frames it morally first. We're not doing this for ourselves, he says, but in accordance with heaven's will, trying to give it that divine justification.
Right, turning Liu Bei's own argument about heaven around.
Precisely. But he also adds a very practical strategic point. He says, look, Zhang Lu, the nearby threat, he has a blood feud with Shu. He will attack eventually. So if Liu Bei doesn't take Shu now, when he has the chance, he'll have risked everything coming here for nothing. He'll be caught between Zhang Lu and potentially a less friendly Shu later. Don't waste this chance.
So it's a mix of destiny and pragmatic necessity. Act now or lose everything?
It's a powerful combination. Using heaven's will to soothe the conscience and the threat of Zhang Lu and wasted effort to push the strategic buttons, it really puts Liu Bei in a corner.
And the text leaves us right there, doesn't it? With that tension hanging. It says something like...
Yeah, it closes the section with that great line. The human lord repeatedly maintaining his benevolence while talented ministers constantly offer cunning schemes. Perfectly captures the dilemma.